And we are back. And we just finished watching 2001's Millennium Actress, rated PG, with a runtime of 1 hour and 27 minutes. This we caught on Prime Video, but it is also to stream on Crunchyroll, Fandor, Freevee, Peacock, Plex, PlutoTV, Tubi, and to buy rent on Prime Video. This is directed by Satoshi Kon and Ko Matsuo, with writing credits to Satoshi Kon and Sadayuki Murai. This is the story of Chiyoko Fujiwara, a young woman who becomes an actress kind of in a roundabout way, not intentionally, but...
Well, I think in the beginning it was sort of like somebody saw her and was like, we want you to be in films because they'll be good for the nation.
Right,
this was during
right.
This was during a part of Japan's history where I believe they're at war with China. Back then, there was like a huge amounts of nationalism and we must show our country in the greatest light and all this stuff, and a lot of propaganda in movies. So they saw her and they were like, yeah, she'll be great as like this iconic Japanese woman, a symbol of Japanese women.
And originally her mom says no.
No, her mom just wanted her to go get married to some dude and be a housewife.
Have kids.
Yeah.
But then the daughter rebels. Is this before or after she meets the painter?
I think she was just going to go along with what the mom said. But then after she meets the painter, then she decides, she comes up with her scheme of, well, if he sees me in movies, maybe he'll be able to find me. So then she goes and she becomes this actress, and she
has this long
career. She gets the ire of the older actress, catches the eye of the director. I mean, everybody's in love with her.
Right.
She's got that little beauty mark.
Is that what makes people love her?
I guess so. You know what? In my mind, it was just because it's anime. A lot of people just look exactly the same in anime. And it was like, she's unique because she has a beauty mark. Because they weren't doing crazy Technicolor hair or anything like that. This wasn't Dragon Ball. This was very, very realistic in its portrayal of people.
I agree. So let's deep dive here. What did you think of this film?
Not really for me. It was interesting. I thought it was an interesting way to tell the story, to mix everything together, to have her tell her life and somehow have her life blend into the films that she did. I get the impression that we weren't actually seeing the films.
We would just see pieces.
We were seeing sort of not even pieces of the films. Right. We were seeing her life,
characters.
We were seeing her life as portrayed by those characters in those time periods, because it was either that or she made the same movie every single time in different time periods.
No, but it was also like she lived an experience that either mirrored the film or her life was interjected into the film. Because at some points, there was like a scene and then it was like cut and you're on the film set. Yeah, so it blurs the lines between what's real and what isn't.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it was supposed to be actual film footage of her in these movies. It was her life sort of being told through these characters in these movies that she appeared in, and that was also being changed. Sort of, it was pretty much all just like fantasy and memory and her just speaking, because Genya and the cameraman Ida. They were there filming these things. They were in the train cars, in the scenes. They were,
and they wouldn't have been.
No, they wouldn't have been. He's rescuing her from certain things. He's actually playing a part in these movies, and he wasn't in these movies.
Right. Or helping her story along.
Right. So the whole film, it sort of blends everything. It's like memory and fantasy and maybe a bit of reality and all of these things. And that I thought was interesting. Plus, it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. The artwork's beautiful. The voice acting's fantastic. Everybody's perfect in it. It was very beautiful. It was very interesting the way this was told. But maybe I'm just cynical. After a while, it just sort of seemed like, get over it. Get over it, Chiyoko. and I
it
guess
was a long time to carry this flame for this guy.
Right. And
that
then
she had like maybe 10 minutes of interaction with.
Yeah. I mean, you could sort of see, oh, she's super young. Young people are stupid. They fall in love at the drop. Oh, I'm in love. Romeo and Juliet, bull crap, that sort of thing. But this dominated her life for like 30 years, 40 years.
Even as an old woman.
Even as an old woman, this pursuit of this guy dominated her life. And I guess they explained that at the end, which was really, to me, just did. I mean,
it was such a letdown.
It was.
Yeah.
Because
up until
I remember
point,
you showed me this article where like somebody is just gushing over, oh, the last line makes it so worth it. And I'm just thinking, no, this is terrible. It
cheapens it, if anything.
Cheapens it. It wasn't my love of him. It was my love of pursuing him.
Which is
just
bananas.
It's just, it doesn't shine her in a good light. It's like you were deeply obsessed.
And not in a good way.
Yeah. In any other thing, you would probably be told by people, listen, you got to get over this.
Yeah. You need help.
This is unhealthy.
Yeah.
This is seriously unhealthy. You can't get on with your life because you were searching for a guy whose face you can't even remember.
Right. Right. Doesn't she have panic attacks because she doesn't remember him?
She doesn't remember his face anymore. I mean, and you never really even see his face in the movie. Right. It's all in shadow. And seriously, they spoke for maybe like an hour.
Well, there's that other scene where she's talking to a guy who jumps over a fence and he's like, I will find you. Or
I think that was just an actor.
Right. I don't think that was the guy.
No, that wasn't the guy. He represented the guy.
Right.
And that was another thing. It was like, but we see his face.
Right.
But you never see the actual guy's face.
Right.
And
he's always off in the distance.
Yeah,
or
and her life,
under this hat.
I mean, she's doing these films because she's hoping that he sees her one day in these films. So in my mind, did she even really like acting?
Right.
What were you doing anything for yourself?
Right.
Or was it all for him? All for this pursuit of him?
Right.
I guess you could say, okay, well, I guess you did love the pursuit because you freaking did it for decades.
Yeah.
But that's, in my mind, that is not a fulfilling, healthy life.
No.
You're living your entire life for somebody else.
Not even. You're for
a ghost.
For a ghost. And you're pursuing. It's not even the love that you think that you have for the person. It's the love of the pursuit. It wasn't even the person. And it's like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah. I mean, what if you
why did you even get married?
Yeah, she got married.
For no reason.
Why? Because she lost the key for a couple of years? I just couldn't get behind this logic. For some people, obsessive behavior like this is romantic.
Yeah.
And because that's what I kept when I was reading stuff about this movie. Oh, it's romance.
Yeah.
Romance that extends over a lifetime.
Well, it's
and
funny.
In my mind, I'm just like, no, that's not romance. That's somebody basically living their life for somebody else with nothing in return.
And it was interesting because while I was watching it, I think the rational side of my brain was like, what is wrong with her? But I was willing to give her a pass, but it was that last line that really kind of ruined the film for me.
Yeah, because she knows what she's doing.
Right.
It's not even like you could say, oh, well, she just loved him so much.
Right.
No. Apparently it wasn't even love of him. It was just love of chasing him. Right. That doesn't make any sense. And it's like you wasted your entire life chasing after somebody who's probably dead.
And I think she suspected that as much. Because why else would she have married the director? And she probably would have stayed in that relationship. At least my interpretation of the story was if the older actress hadn't confided to her the things that she'd done.
Or if the older actress just hadn't pulled that prank with the fortune teller.
Right.
Like, seriously, that last line really
taints.
Like, I wasn't 100% on board already. Same. But once that line was said, it was just sort of like...
Nosedive.
You're fully participating in your delusion here.
Yeah.
You're happily participating in your delusion.
Yeah.
But you're wrapping it in this, oh, it's so romantic.
But it's not.
It's not. Obsession is absolutely not romantic. Even
a romance is between two consenting adults, right? And it's not forced behavior. It's sort of natural. And here, it's like, why is she chasing him if the end goal isn't to be with him? And I think at some point she even says, like right before she marries the director, she says something to the effect of, I'm paraphrasing here, but I guess I'm going to just go on with my life because I'm probably not the girl that the artist remembers.
Yeah, she had like a breakdown over that.
Right. And it's like, okay, so some rational part of you won out in this instance and was like, okay, how about we just become normal and do normal things that normal people do, like continue with your life and get married and maybe start a family or something like that. So she married the director, and she probably only married him because he seemed to be more into her than she was into him. Yeah. I mean, he was just there. I never got the impression that it was like this fantastical love, right?
That was another thing about this film that kind of bothered me, was she didn't really care about anything else.
Right.
She was in these films. Apparently, she was great in these films. Everybody loved her. Genya, that was another thing. Genya was completely in love with her.
Enamored of her, right? If anybody should have wound up with her, I guess it was him, right? Because he
he was crazy about her.
Right. He genuinely loved her, and he was willing to sacrifice himself in those little tableaus where
he was always getting
hurt. Right.
Yeah. And even in real life, when the earthquake strikes during the rocket ship thing,
right,
that I guess ended her career,
right, or that she walked away,
protected her, right. He covered her,
and he got hurt. Yeah.
So there's a lot of holes here.
There is a lot of holes.
I guess if you're just some wide-eyed romantic, maybe you could overlook these things. It is a pretty movie.
It's a beautiful movie.
It is told in a very unique and fun way.
Yeah, and the animation is gorgeous.
That story that's not a lesson to live your life by. It. It's like The Little Mermaid.
Why you got to bring her up?
You have like all this great animation and songs, and then when you break it all down to its core, it's about a girl who abandoned everything about herself because some guy was cute. She like, I have the love of my family. To hell with that.
I'm going to give up everything about myself.
That guy's got dimples. Ooh.
I'm even going to give up the power of speech for this guy.
I'm going to give up the power of speech, abandon my family, risk my life.
Leave my morals behind. Yeah. And dignity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to pair this with Paprika, which I feel like I liked better in relation to the two movies.
I didn't really care for either of them.
Really?
No, I think I gave Paprika 6.
Maybe.
I gave Paprika 6. This I would probably also give this a 6. Honestly, his best thing that I've seen
is Tokyo
Godfather. Tokyo Godfathers, I think I gave like a 9.5 or something. Yeah. I loved Tokyo Godfathers. Yeah. That was such a sweet, awesome movie with gorgeous great characters and amazing animation and
great story.
Great story. Go see Tokyo Godfathers. if you're gonna watch this guy's
well, we also have to watch Perfect Blue, which everybody is recommending to me.
I hope it's better than these two.
I mean, they weren't bad.
No, they're not bad. They're better than average, but there's so many flaws that I'm bothered by them.
I think I liked Paprika more than this, even though that also was like, you had to really kind of let a lot of stuff slide in that. This one, I liked it until the ending. The ending actually ruins it for me. That
last line really kills it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
I think you and I both looked at each other during the scene and like, what the F just happened? I
kind of wish I turned off the subtitles there because I would have been happy if I may have even given it a 7 if that last line was there.
Wasn't there?
Probably not. Yeah. I was still bothered.
Yeah.
But that last line just sunk it.
Yeah. And it was like, if that wasn't necessary. I think you and I both looked at each other and were like, that wasn't necessary.
Yeah, because that just takes her psychosis to a whole nother level.
Yeah. And I think that, I mean, it could have been like this this young, because she met him when she was a young girl. It could have been like this young love. And I think the first time you fall in love, it's always so all encompassing and passionate and whatnot. And it could have been that she just carried this flame for this guy for decades, and that she kept looking for him.
It would have,
and trying to find him in different places and in different faces, but it just never happened.
The thing about that though is it was like seriously, it was like a half hour. It's like seriously a half hour. I can understand if it was like they grew up together or something like that, or she knew him from the village, or I don't know what.
Yeah, it would have to be more than just I met him.
Yeah, but to basically sacrifice
your life,
your
basically.
entire life,
yeah,
to pursue somebody that you met once for a half hour.
Yeah.
And to be honest, did he even feel the same way about her?
No,
because in the note he's just like, I hope we see each other again.
Yeah, or I'm sorry,
that doesn't sound like, you know, oh, we really connected or some nonsense, you know.
So did she? Because there's that scene where she sees the picture of herself drawn on the stone, and it said something like, "We will meet again."
We'll meet again. Yeah.
So did she misconstrue that? Did that really happen? It must have, because
because she had the painting at the end of the movie.
Right.
It was like her prized possession there.
Mm.
So yeah, I guess she did find a place that he was, even though she never found him.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, spoilers. But
so, question for you: was she there when the policeman takes him into that room, and then we don't see him anymore?
No, that was a movie scene. Okay. That's the thing. It was the way they were describing everything. It was all blending in with her life. So there were little aspects of the movie, and then there were aspects of her life, and you can't really tell what was going on because she was nowhere near him when the Scarface guy brought him in, or actually caught him.
But then he comes back afterwards to atone.
Yeah,
and
he's all maimed.
But so I was under the impression that actually did happen, because the painter is drawn exactly how she sees him the first time, and then that cop or whatever comes back into her life, and she still remembered him as an adult.
Well, you know what's strange is you see her memory of the event when she tells the police, oh, he went somewhere else. And then in this film, or this acting thing, they do the same exact scene, but in that one, they don't believe her or something, and they come back, and like an action sequence ensues. So I think that aspect of it was fantasy. The only thing that was actually true was the cop stopping her and saying, where is this guy? Did you see this guy? And she lies to him, because it's always the same. It's not always the same person. Sometimes it's an actor, but they always have a scar on their face, whether it's in the movie, whether it's in the memory. So I don't think there was ever any actual moment where she ran and was pounding on a door in her actual real life. I think that was just the movie. At least that's my interpretation of it. But that's one of the things that's interesting about the way this was told.
Right. That you don't know.
You don't know. It's all blending in and out. And she's an old woman. She's not a 100% reliable narrator here.
Right. Because even as
her,
a younger woman.
Even her maid says, oh, sometimes she doesn't talk for a while or something like that.
But also because in those previous sequences when she was a younger woman, she even freaked out about, like, I don't remember him.
Yeah.
So something inside of her is like, why are we still tethered to this notion of this guy? And especially if she wasn't pursuing him for a relationship.
No, I think she did want a relationship with him, but I think at the end, what she says is that it doesn't matter if I ever find him or if we do get together. The thing I really loved was pursuing him.
That's so weird, isn't it?
Yeah. That's why I felt that line was just terrible.
Yeah, I agree.
That it's just like, if we get together, great. If we never see each other, that's okay too, because the main thing I loved was chasing after him. And it's like, that is exactly. You basically just said, I lived my life as a doormat, and I'm super happy about that.
Step on me.
Yeah.
All you want.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
So we're gonna put these two films together. I think I like the other one more. This one I liked until that last line. I think it really diminished the whole idea of the story and the telling. I agree with you. I think it's beautiful. I think it was an interesting way of telling the story. A lot of the sequences were just really beautifully done, but I think at the end it kind of falls apart because it's not love. And it's supposed to be a love story, but it's not. I'm going to give this a 6.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 6 too.
Yeah. I mean, visually stunning. If you want to watch it, I would say watch it up until almost 10 minutes to the end, maybe.
Not even until like a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
As soon as she hops in the ship and she's flying through space, just shut the film off.
Yeah. What did you like better, this one or the other one?
I'd probably say the other one. The other one was more, there was a lot more to look at.
And it was fun in a weird way.
It was funner. It was more action-y. I'm not a fan of either story, though.
Okay.
The other one was convoluted and wasn't explained very well. And this one was just a bad example. Seriously, I'm getting the Little Mermaid vibes. I hate the Little Mermaid.
All right. And with that, we will wrap it up and bid you all a
good night.
good night.